So, it's that time of year again. Summer anime preview. Lego. What is up, YouTube? It's RSMario here bringing you another video. This time we have the summer anime preview. So, of course, like every time, there are timestamps in the description. And also, I believe I got the little thing in the watch line down here, so you can actually scroll over these and see what anime you want, and just kind of pick that and skip straight to it. Timestamps in the description, so you can skip around. The must-watch anime are going to be near the end of the list. So let's get started.
人類は魔族により滅びかけた。魔族を倒し封印したのは無敵の神々イダテン。
So essentially what's going on is, so there was a battle between these powerful Idaten deities and demons a long time ago, and of course the gods won. They defeated the demons, but it kind of wrecked the world, you know what I'm saying? But now, of course, a new generation of gods have been born, things have been rebuilt, and these gods have lived in peace forever and have never fought before, and now the demons are coming back, and now they're going to have to fight. This should be kind of interesting. Of course, I did put it in the take a chance category, because I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's Mappa, so it's gonna be, it's gonna look good, but it could be Garbo. All right, Mappa did me dirty with daggone, Yasuke. So I don't know about this. I'll give it a shot though.
やめろー動くなそのまま両手をゆっくり上げろ兄さん頭がどうした直哉あの人も追われてるんだねゆうやお願いだよこのままだとなぜ命まで狙われなきゃならない
Nighthead 2041. So Nighthead 2041 follows the Kirihira brothers, who were locked in a special scientific incarceration facility, which to me is fancy place for science jail, where they experiment on you. They were locked in this prison for whatever reason, and they were able to break out after a malfunction in the shield that contains them in this place. Well, basically happens. So they were able to break out. And the Kuroki brothers are tasked with finding them and bringing them in. This feels like those two brothers from Invincible. Well, technically they aren't brothers. One is actually a clone of the other, but they never tell which one is which because obvious reasons. And, somebody trying to bring them in. That's kind of what it sounds like. It is a drama, mystery, psychological sci-fi show, so I'm expecting that more than likely the what was these people? the Kirihara brothers were probably locked up for some nefarious reason. It wasn't their fault, more than likely. They probably weren't supposed to be in there, and they were just getting experimented on, because why else do you put people in science jail? Battle game in 5 seconds. Alright, so this one is a new kind of battle anime. It basically follows a guy by the name Akira Shirionagi and Shirionagi. And essentially, he's like basically a normal, he's your normal isekai protagonist guy. Normal dude. He likes video games. He likes kompeto, which is like Japanese sweets. And he basically likes these things, and he gets drugged into a battle game. Not an actual video game, but in real life, in his world, he's in a battle game. Think like Darwin's Game from last year. I think it's what it was called, Darwin's Game. Or any of these, like, fight to the death, last person wins, gets something type of games. And I'm kind of interested in this, because Darwin's Game was a pretty good show last year. Not a lot of people talk about. So this one, he also doesn't have any superpowers. So he's going to have to get through with just his brain. He's going to have to strategize his way through fighting these people who have otherworldly abilities. So I'm good. You know, I'll take a shot on this. So Scarlet Nexus essentially follows the story of the game that's coming out probably, I think it comes out Friday, I think. But yeah, so essentially it's about this psychokinetic guy who fights these weird creatures called the Others. So it turns out he was actually saved by this team that he's on when he was a kid from one of the Others. And he eventually grows up and goes through the training to be on that team to fight others with his psychokinetic powers. Him and his partner, who also has weird dreams, have to contend with the Others and try to figure out what's going on. That's essentially the plot in a nutshell. Now, one thing is, since they are mentioning what happened to him as a kid, I'm wondering, are we going to go through that? Is this like a semi-prequel to the show? Because it would be kind of crazy to have a video game and then have an anime come out at the same time that follows the same story. Like, once you beat the video game, what's the point of watching the anime to watch that story again? So, I think this is probably going to be more along the lines of a prequel than it is going to be like the actual story of the game. But anyway, I'm interested. I'm interested in the game. I'm definitely interested in the show.
人間、アジン、鬼、さまざまな種族が存在する世界。そして私の前に現れた一人の少年。世界が変わり始める。
Peach Boy Riverside. Peach Boy Riverside. So I've heard about this show, or heard about the manga. It's essentially like this chick wanting to go out and explore the world because she lived this sheltered life behind these walls. And she meets a bunch of people and they kind of form a party, but they're all like yanderes. And I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting. But it's a little bit more than that. So this chick whose name is... Just check this out. Saltherine Aldrake. Saltherine Aldrake. She's the princess of the Aldrake Empire, and essentially she wants to get away from her sheltered life, living in the palace, living behind the walls, and explore the world. But of course, the outside, the countryside is, you know, full of demons and monsters, and she's gonna die. But she goes out there anyway. She meets a guy, and, you know, she's cool with the guy, but the guy reveals that he's a demon slayer, and of course, a ton of violence ensues. Even though she's horrified by all the violence, she still wants to travel with him, so she follows him around while he kills demons. This sounds interesting, especially with the aspect that everybody else they're gonna meet are gonna be these crazy yandere people. I want to see how this plays out. I am cautiously interested in this show. Samurais versus pirates, baby. I've been to this one. Fena, the pirate princess. So Fena Hortman is this chick. She's a servant at a brothel. She was an orphan. She lost her memory. She doesn't know what happened to her family, but she knows she has the abilities or the key to unlock the memories and the secrets of her family. So she ventures out in order to do this. But in doing this, she ends up pissing off a bunch of female pirates. So her and a crew of samurai now must go on this adventure to unlock her memories while dodging female pirates. I'm in. Alright, this was almost a must-watch. But again, like, I don't know, like, I mean, it's production IG, so that could go either way, you know, but I'm in. I want to see this. So, The Detective Is Already Dead stars Kimizuka Kimihiko. Boy, these names, bro. I hate names. Everybody should be named Mario. But yes, so it stars him, and essentially he is a guy struck with bad luck. Alright, he goes to the store, he witnesses a drug deal. Now he's a witness. He drives home from work, he sees somebody get hit by a car. He's a witness to that too. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff happened, and he ends up getting pulled in the most weirdest way possible. And one day he ends up meeting a silver-haired detective named Saida, and essentially ends up becoming the Watson to her Holmes. And they end up going around the world and solving mysteries. Now, later, 3 years later in their journey, Saida dies, and he just resigns to go back to living a normal life as a high school student, which doesn't work because, again, he's bad luck. And he runs into somebody who looks just like her and is pulled into yet another caper. This feels like it's going to be kind of interesting. Again, it's made by a studio called Studio Ingi. I've never heard of them before, so I don't know their track record, but I'll put it in Dark Horse, though. It's a Dark Horse to be an interesting show this season. The Dungeon of the Black Company. So this one is an interesting one. I've heard about this one before, but essentially is a guy who is lazy, right? Lazy, layabout, beatnik guy, and he gets transformed. He gets transported to another world, but he's not a superhero. No, he is a slave. He's a miner. All right, so now he goes from living the beatnik life to having to work hard. And he has to adjust to this, and to me it just sounds hilarious. All right, this is going to be an interesting little comedy. Now I think it does say, yeah, it's action, comedy, fantasy. So yeah, he lacks any kind of work ethic and is a layabout in modern life. One day he finds himself transported to another world, not in a grand fantasy of a hero welcomed with open arms, but enslaved by evil mining company. So basically, yeah, he gets isekai to a regular life, to a worse life. This is gonna be funny. I'm not really down with isekai right now because there's so many of them and they're so kind of samey. But this one I'll check out though.
そうやって一日中そこで寝っ転がってるの楽しい？
楽しいよ。
消えちゃったんですよ。学校以外全部。
こんな現象は説明できない。外との連絡も取れず、僕らはまさに漂流しているのです。そうなんだ。
Sonny Boy. So Sonny Boy, I've heard a lot about this year. I've seen a lot of promotion for this one. I think Funimation has been promoting it a lot. It's the new Madhouse joint, so people like that. Essentially, it is an isekai. Like, it's about this class, this guy and his friends in this class, and they get transported to another dimension, which also has a school, but it's in another dimension, and they end up getting superpowers, and they have to kind of, survive with that. Alright, it's kind of a simple thing, but it's a Madhouse joint, though. And we all know how good Madhouse is. Madhouse and Mappa have been killing it the last couple years. Alright, so, of course, I'm in that. Not to mention, the art style is very interesting. It's actually done by Hayashi Iguchi, who actually does a lot of old school, like, 90s anime. And this feels like an updated version of the 90s anime style, which I can dig. I can dig it. At first, I thought it was going to be by the guys who did Let Go of My Igi-chan or Japan Sinks. I thought it was going to be by those people, but it's different. It's a different studio. Different art directors and everything. So I'm like, okay. Still, though, it's looking interesting, though. It's the two isekais I'm looking forward to. So, Remake Our Life is essentially... It's Real Life. If you remember Real Life from back in the day, I think I did a review on Real Life a couple years back. But essentially, it's Real Life, but it's a little different. Hayashiba Kiyoya is a 28-year-old game developer. With his company going bankrupt and him losing his job, he returns to his hometown looking at the success of creators his age. He finds himself regretting his life decisions and lays distressed on his bed. So Kiyoya wakes up. He discovers that he has traveled 10 years back in time before he entered college. Will he be able to fix his life? So it's also kind of like erased. You know what I'm saying? Dude, his life sucks. He's failed. He gets a second chance at life traveling back before he went to college. I'm interested. I love the real life. I love the race until the end. I'm down with this. And of course, the biggest show I'm looking forward to is the Wonder Egg Priority Special. So, Wonder Egg Priority, I already did a review on the show. You can check that out in the link above. But it didn't have finality. It didn't have like it didn't technically end. It just kind of stopped. And a lot of people were saying that it was because there was some turmoil behind the scenes, not particularly with this show, but this show was being done at the same time as the Promised Neverland season 2, and we all know how amazing that show went. So of course, the same studio, they pulled people to help work on Promised Neverland, and they didn't get all the work done they wanted for Wonder Egg Priority, which is why one of the last 3 episodes was a clip show, and the last episode just kind of stops the story. So this is the finality to that story, and I can't wait. This show, it needs to be good, because if it's good, then this show is a modern day masterpiece. If not, then it's a C-level show. So that's about it for this. Of course, like, comment, subscribe. Check out my second channel, The Loot Box Hero. Keep it real.